Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today on Greatest You Summit and thank you for being open to receive. I am Christine Williams, your hostess. These calls are firstly for you and about you. If you dialed in to raise your hand, press star 2. And if you're on the webcast, you may use the Q&A box to submit your comments or questions. And please remember to include your name. Today's guest is Elizabeth Summers, and she has a very interesting and fascinating discipline to share with you. Elizabeth has been spiritually guiding clients since 1988. She provides practical information by combining numerology, astrology, and tarot interpretations in her personal readings. Elizabeth Summers utilizes both the Pythagorean and Chaldean numerology systems to give depth to her clients' reading interpretations. With over 25 years of radio and television experience, including her own radio show, Elizabeth Summers brings to the audience a wealth of knowledge in an insightful and practical yet frequently humorous way. Elizabeth is a professional esoteric numerologer, medium, psychic intuitive, teacher, radio personality, and author. Beautiful beings of love and light that you are, join me to warmly welcome Elizabeth Summers. Elizabeth, welcome and thank you for being here.
Thank you, Christine, for having me on your show. And hello to everyone who's listening. This is going to be delightful, informative and delightful.
Okay, so thank you for that. Elizabeth, what is esoteric numerology and why should one choose that system?
Well, esoteric numerology is not a system. In the work that I do, I look at my clients first and foremost from the soul's perspective. A lot of the formulas that I use gives me insight as to their past lives, their past life experiences, other centuries, the memory of which is held in their soul's memory box and is impacting upon this lifetime. And these ancient tools help me to find that out and then share it with them. So I use spiritual tools in my numerology interpretations, as well as then astrology, as well as then tarot and the ancient Kabbalah. Numbers are just codes. They don't have any power whatsoever. They're a language to me. So as I work through by hand, nothing's on the computer, all by hand, the 4 pages all about my people that I'm doing readings for, you know, Christine, I begin to feel their energy. Mm-hmm. The numbers begin to talk to me, so to speak, like a language that I'm translating. Yeah. And I'm able to see, is this a difficult time of their life? Is this going to be transition? Is there an end to the light at the tunnel type of thing? And also who they are as a soul. You know, so many people say to me, oh, I'm a 6, I'm a 3, I'm a 2. No, you're not. They're looking at, and it's all over the internet, when you add your month, day, and year of birth together, you get a life path number, life lesson number. Christine, what that number is what the soul, prior to incarnation, decided, you know, I think this issue needs some improvement. And it begins to set up a whole lifetime of chapters and people and what have you to help them improve upon whatever that issue is. Who a person really is energetically comes from the vowels of their birth name. The vowels tell me the God force that is their soul vibration. That's who they are. It's fascinating.
Really? Yes.
And
I did
so,
not know that.
yes, and so the work that I do is spiritual numerology. Now, I combine really pragmatic, meat, potatoes, bread, and butter. Because people, when they come, my attitude is when I get a call from a client who wants to have a reading with me, a numerology reading with me, that soul's ready. That soul readiness, the spirit, their soul, is bringing them to me for me to help them know where they are in their life, what's it all about, when's it going to happen, who am I, and there are 4 major heavy-duty karma codes that can show in the work that I do. Has to do usually with relationships, 2 of them with relationships, that brings, in this lifetime, issues in relationships where people get betrayed, or they get used, or they're dealing with addiction issues. It's coming in here from other lifetimes for them to look at and just make a different choice. One of the karmic codes has to do with money and power, abuse of power. And then one of those numbers says that person was pretty lazy in another lifetime and didn't work. And they have to work in this lifetime.
Oh. But you can see all that from the...
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, absolutely,
Wow.
yes. I can see where they have issues that, let me back up here. A person's birth name on their birth certificate, by code, is assigned the numbers 1 through 8, the very deep 5,000-year-old Chaldean system, or 1 through 9, which is all over the internet, the Pythagorean system that's 2,600 years old. And Pythagoras was highly evolved ascended master. He was a big guy in spirit by the name of Kasumi. And he's come a couple times. He came as Bartholomew, one of the apostles. He came as St. Francis of Assisi. That's Kasumi. And he was a prominent mathematician. We older ones know about Pythagoras and geometry. But he was also a metaphysician. And his work says, his belief was that the universe, and it does, works in a very systematic, orderly fashion. So when I do what are called transit readings, time-oriented, calendar-oriented readings, his work is very powerful in my figuring out. And you know, even though his numbers are only 1 through 9, when I work the formulas, I arrive at what are called compound numbers and also double numbers. There is a difference. And so let's just say the number 6. A 6 is a 6 is a 6. It all has the same meaning. It's the lover's card in tarot. It is Venus energy in astrology. But there's 6, 15, 6, 24, 6, 33, 6, 42, 6, and on and on and on. And each of those compound numbers fit in a slot of tarot cards, of tarot interpretations. Now, I don't do spreads, but the 78 cards in the ancient tarot correlate in the themes that show up in a person's chart. So I'm able to see, is this person dealing with emotional issues, cups, relationship issues, or career issues, wands, or money issues? And Lord save us, we hope they're not dealing with swords, which is like stressy, stressy, stressy. This is the esoteric part. It goes deeper into the interpretations, into the language.
So one like me, I was born on the 15th. That is a 6.
That's your temperament. That's your personality. Loving, nurturing, caring. The actual day a person is born, and every soul chooses the month, day, and year of birth. It's all figured out before the soul incarnates. Every soul chooses its birth certificate name. It telepathically, prior to birth, into human form, telepathically, soul to soul, goes to the soul of the person or persons who eventually names it and says, hello, this is the name that I want, because when I say that name, that is a sound. That sound is an energy, is a vibration that triggers past life experiences that are tools in a toolbox in my subconscious that are used like tools. And therefore, your birth certificate name, even though people get married or they get stage names or nicknames, you are still influenced by that basic birth certificate name.
Oh. So even if you change your name, like if my name is Christine and I don't like it, my middle name is Maria, I want to drop out Christine, would that make a difference?
It will make a temporary transit difference. Your birth certificate name is your toolbox. Then the new name that you're vibrationally throwing out to the universe, sound-wise, energy-wise, it's called technically an angle of development. And it can add to the whole energy field vibrationally of the person. Sometimes it throws it totally out of whack, and I have to talk to them about maybe some modifications. But what you say on a daily basis, what you write on a daily basis, is the energy that you are sending to the universe. And it comes back as behaviors. It comes back as emotional situations. And so the day you chose to be born on the 15th, yes, it adds to a 6, which is the Lover's card, which is about nurturing and caring and what have you. But yours is a 15-6. That is the devil card in tarot that says you have to make relationship choices that are either going to entrap you or set you free. It can be a little toughy.
Oh, relationships have been tough for me.
Yes, that's the 15-6. It's not smooth sailing. A really good number for a 6 to 24.
When you said it's the devil card, I thought there's a side of me that's the devil.
Yeah, no, it has nothing to do with the horns and the big tail and the scary dairy. No, it's about choice. You have to make choices about the relationships that you want to participate with in this lifetime. And they're usually 15-6 is about close-in relationships. The husband, the children, the family, not people in Bangladesh. Close-in relationships that you need to learn to love you first, then children to a certain age, and we always love our children, but we're not responsible. The number 6 is about responsibility. That's the Lover's card, a lot of responsibility. And then our partners, then community. That's what that says. You chose that day to be born on. What were you thinking?
A bad marriage.
Exactly. That's not uncommon. It's a little testy, especially when we're younger. Well, as we talked about before we came on air, and I said to you that every soul moves through 3 major lanes of life experience in a lifetime. The first one in general, I'm specific when I do the readings, but generally speaking, the first one is called the youth years, and it extends from birth to about 30 years of age, past the first Saturn return. And then generally speaking, from 30 to 55 is the most important lane of life, called your power years. And it's in that middle lane of life that the soul, through emotional and environmental experiences, really spiritually grows. And then the third lane of life, for most people, not everybody, but most people, it's called your wisdom years, where we, as the more mature, have had about 55 years of life experience and developing of wisdom. We, in some way, are to turn around and give it back to humanity. Those are the three lanes of life.
And what is the Chaldean numerology codes?
The Chaldean numerology?
Chaldean, yes, numerology codes.
Which I love this system when I do natal, blueprint, lifetime readings. I just did 2 of them today, because the Chaldean system, the Chaldeans, and there's still Chaldeans over in Iran and Iraq, over in that area, but the Chaldeans lived in the Mesopotamian Valley. They were prominent astrologers. In fact, those that went to baby Jesus when he was 2 years old, not in the manger, were Chaldeans. They were astrologers. And the Chaldean system I love, particularly when I do lifetime readings, because those formulas go so down deep into the soul's memory box. It's just totally amazing. It helps me hit the nail on the head who this soul is coming in here cumulatively from other incarnations. What is their baggage? What are they here to do? What is their maturity number? You know, we have a number that comes up by formula. I work with these little algebraic formulas. And believe me, I developed a whole workbook for beginners where I teach in my workshops. You can order it on my website if you want to learn your own stuff, folks. But no math is required. As long as you have a calculator and a pencil, not pen, you can even use your fingers and toes to do some of this, to calculate out the numbers. The skill comes in the knowledge that I have acquired after 45, 50 numerology books of how to interpret the numbers. It's the anybody can find the numbers. It's the interpretation. The Chaldean system goes deep into that person's life, their baggage, their suitcase. Now, when we get to around 46 years of age, somewhere sort of in there, there is a vibration that bubbles up from the subconscious, from the soul. It's almost like a secondary life path number, like a secondary. And I also want to improve upon this, too. And it's called the maturity number. Ultimate goal number has all these technical things. I call it what you're here to be when you grow big. And it is very insightful as to how the person is to sometimes have careers in older years. Sometimes it gives insight as to what they are to work on spiritually in older years. And it really starts at 46 and then just keeps intensifying and intensifying and intensifying. And so, quite honestly, I think for me personally, that was really helpful for me to know the careers, the work that I am to do as I grew older. And that's exactly what I'm doing. Right. Mine is to be a teacher, a wisdom giver, a shaman, a businesswoman. And those are my numbers, and it just evolved. It's very cool. This work is just so practical, but so insightful. And this is why I've been very blessed to be successful at this work for 25 plus years and all the work that I do, because it's helping people. You know, when people are in a mud puddle, I call them mud puddles. When they're in a mud puddle, flapping around, they do not know which end is up. It's helpful if they can get some real pragmatic, practical help, someone who doesn't know them, who's very objective, who can help them, give them food for thought, if you will, and help cut through that emotionalism that is affecting their lives. You know, when people are kind of messed up, let's just say, they don't want to hear a lot of what Elizabeth calls woo-woo stuff. They don't want to hear about la, 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 la. They want facts. They want information. You have to meet people where they are. Meat and potatoes, bread and butter. And I do that, but I also help them understand from the soul's perspective what's causing all of this. And let's just straighten that out, too, while we're at it. Yep.
So, what is the one's attitude letter?
I said your birth certificate name is your toolbox coming in here. The first name is your human being tools that you're working with, developed in past lifetimes. The middle name is your emotional suitcase that you're working with. The third name is your spiritual evolutionary name that one has inherited from the father's spiritual DNA. It's kind of like your tribal name, but it's your spiritual name. Well, let's go back here to the first name that every soul chooses for itself, and the first letter of the first name is called a cornerstone vibration. It's like a fulcrum, and it indicates your attitude towards life in this incarnation. In other incarnations, maybe something else. Your attitude towards life. So let's take I'll get to you in a minute when it comes to this, Christine. But let's talk about the letter M, like Mary or Maureen or Mildred. The letter M is their cornerstone, is their attitude. Well, the letter M has the number 4 connected to it. The number 4 is about security, work, planning, A to B, B to C, C to D. That's their attitude of how they're approaching life in this incarnation. But the letter M is a 13-4. Now we have a new wrinkle. The numbers 1 through 8, 1 through 9, Christine, are like the basic black dress. Basic black dress. Oh. But when I start plugging in by formula these compound and double numbers, it's jewelry on that basic black dress. And 13-4 is the death card intro. And the death card is a card of growth, of expansion. It's like coming out of diapers, going in the big boy pants. And it's therefore, the M says, in this lifetime, compared to previous lifetimes, I will go through significant growth in my attitude where I will learn to work and plan and organize. Now, the letter C of Christine is your cornerstone vibration. The letter C is just the number 3. It doesn't have a compound connected to it. The letter C is about a talker. A talker. It's about creativity. It's about writing and singing and dancing. It's the energy of the voice. And sometimes the letter C has some difficulty focusing, planning, what have you, but it is very friendly. It likes people. It likes to talk. Look what you're doing. You have a radio show where you're talking.
All right.
And it has Jupiter energy of good luck connected to it. So writing, singing, dancing, partying, having fun, talking, teaching, all of that. Selling, sell. That's the letter C. Yes. Not too shabby.
Okay. Well, the only thing I know about myself, people usually tell me I'm cheerful.
That's right. The letter
I'm
C.
cheerful.
That's right. It's a happy energy. And it's the Empress card in Tarot. The Empress, she's the queen. She is the Empress. The girl loves to shop. Do you like to shop?
Yes.
Yeah,
Not many
exactly. She loves to shop. But it has to do with the Empress is wonderful. It's one of my favorite cards. She's in the Major Arcana, and it's about friendliness and cheerfulness. But the Empress is about success and achievement and abundance and opportunities. Yeah. So this is the esoteric part to answer your question way back about 25 minutes ago. This is what I do to help people get more depth as to the number codes that arrive. We go way past those single numbers, 1 through 9 or 1 through 8. I mean, we go down into the belly of the bear with the deeper interpretations of their specific 6s and 4s and 3s and 2s. It's really so, I can only tell you, it certainly helped me once I really began working with this work that came to me through Spirit in 1988. And it's just been my life ever since. And once you get me started, like I am on your radio show, it's hard for me to put the brakes on because it's so exciting and it's so insightful.
Yeah. Yes, it sounds that way.
Mm-hmm. And a person's age even tells me something about. For instance, there are certain ages, chronological ages, that are always bring in like a farmer planting seeds. Always start the seeds of some sort of new beginning. 28, 37, 46, 55, 64, 73, 82. Now that is, those are ages that add down to a 1. And they also have a little 10-1 in there, which is the Wheel of Good Fortune. But it's planting of seeds. And it's based on my experience doing this for so long that usually it takes to the next year. So if it is 46, it takes to 47 for it to really begin to blossom in their lives. But the seeds are planted, 46 are all the numbers that I just shared with you. You know, there's so many think of it this way, listeners, wonderful listeners. Think of a board puzzle. And you have this card table, and if you've ever done a board, you take a box of 4 million pieces of puzzle, and you up-dump it on the card table to start putting it together. And the first thing in putting together a board puzzle is to build the framework, the frame of the puzzle. That's called, in the work I do, a natal reading, a blueprint reading. What is the framework of this lifetime that you, me, everybody put together to play out like a play on Broadway before you were even born? And that's what I'm decoding in the work that I do. So the natal reading is that framework of the border of the puzzle. And then every year, every age is another piece of that puzzle, piece of that puzzle, piece of that puzzle. So please God, by the time you close your eyes on this lifetime, your whole puzzle will have been put together. And we go in 9-year cycles from birth to death out of this incarnation. 9-year cycles, 9-year cycles, 9-year cycles. And 9-year cycles, certain ones have very specific umbrella energies of themes that I can tell people, this is what your 9-year issue is. It doesn't always take 9 years to, go through it. But there are pinnacles of success. There's only 4 of them in a lifetime. There is what is called a peak cycle that goes from, say, 27 to 36, 36 to 45, 45 to 54, and all the way around. That was given to us by Pythagoras directly. That gives another general theme. These are all pieces of the puzzle that some of us get really messed up because we can't figure out what piece goes where. And that's what I help them with.
But Elizabeth, if you see something where someone has like a number that is not auspicious, how can they correct that? They were already born on that day.
Well, there are certain codes that can be a little challenging. Every number has a positive and a negative side. And so when I see it, either it's in the timeline or it's part of their birth chart, I explain it to them. I find that if people understand what's it all about, Alfie, that knowledge is empowering. It's not that it's auspicious. It's that it is what it is, good, bad, or indifferent. So if I see some codes that are showing up in certain areas of a chart or time of a chart, I explain it to them. And everybody, all my readings are recorded. After the reading, a download gets sent to them immediately. They can re-listen immediately to the reading because, as you know, just from this radio show, I just keep going. I never shut up. And so if I'm doing readings, it just flows and flows. Spirit comes in. I have wonderful guides that help
and you incorporate astrology as well and the tarot in your readings.
Yes, and I combine them. I am bring in, if I know, generally speaking, something specific I want to share with them astrologically, I always tell them their rising sign, sun sign, moon sign. Those are their most important signs. Our sun sign, in my opinion, our sun sign is how other people see us, and it's most powerful in the younger years. But as we mature and grow older, I firmly believe that we become what is called our rising sign or ascendant in our life, in our personality. And our moon sign is our emotional self. That never changes. And so I bring that into them. If I know, for instance, I've had a lot of Sagittarians, and for the last 2 years, and ending this year at the end of December 2017, Saturn, Marine Corps drill instructor in the universe, shape up or ship out, has been moving through the sign of Sagittarius. And it's been pretty transformative to every Sagittarian I know. My sister became a widow. Other people got divorces. There's usually a change of residence or job or career of some sort. There's a whole modification that goes on. So Sagittarius is a fire sign, and they do not necessarily, as Leos, as Aries, other fire signs. They're not little sparklers. They are blow torches. They don't like the discipline of Saturn. They don't like it. They don't like being in boot camp. But Sagittarius is coming to the end of that particular transit, and the cool thing is Saturn always brings a gift. If the person has really worked on themselves spiritually, allowed their life to transform in whatever, there's a gift. It's positive at the end. Saturn is going to move into, at the end of December, for the next 2.5 years, into the sign of Capricorn, influencing all Capricorns. So all you Capricorn listeners, get your dancing shoes on. But Saturn rules Capricorn. And Capricorns are very goal-oriented. They're totally different energy than are the fire sign Sagittarius. And they can handle, really, the Saturn transit, I believe, much better than a fire sign. And if your listeners go to my website, ElizabethSummers.com, on the home page, on the right sidebar, they can sign up for my newsletter, my daily number wisdoms. Every day I send out the energy of the day, numerologically. My video is on every single day. And I will be writing about the Mercury retrograde that is here. It starts on the 12th, but it usually starts creepy crawling into our lives about a week or two ahead of time. And it's going to go all the way to about September 5th or so. And it's in the sign of Leo and Virgo. And so Leos and Virgos, heads up, and I write about that in my newsletters. So therefore, and I just published on my website, ElizabethSummers.com, my August newsletter all about the number 8. So if people have a birthday number of an 8 or a 26 or a 17, the number 17, 8's beautiful. It's the star card. That's a beautiful, beautiful number. That's one of my favorite numbers, 17. It's all right there.
And then August has the eclipse.
And the eclipse on the 8th and 9th, depends on where you are, somewhere in there. Yes, and then the other one is around the 21st, 22nd. It's going to be a very interesting month. Yeah, it is.
All right. So we established our birth numbers, our personality, right? And
your birthday number, the day you were born, is your personality number. Yes.
Okay. All right. And we have three line, right? Is it called line? Lanes of life.
Like a three-lane highway. Like a three-lane highway.
Right.
Three-lane highway. And then when we add our month, day, and year of birth together, that number we get there is what our soul wants to improve upon as a soul in this lifetime. It can be spirituality. It can be learning how to love ourselves, how to take responsibility for home and family. And here's another little known numerological item. Is, for instance, sometimes I will do compatibility charts between two people.
Right.
And usually it's a man and then a woman, but it makes no difference. Well, and I add together their month, day, and year of birth. And let's say it comes up that their lesson to learn is 6. So they're here to learn, to take responsibility for themselves first, and to love their family, and the word is responsibility. Well, when I add, even though the partner is born on a different month and a different year and a different day, their life path number also winds up to be a 6. So both of them have the same thing to learn, a 6. When that happens, the interpretation indicates that those two souls in relationships in past lifetimes had intense, the word's intense, emotional interactions with each other that they are balancing out in this lifetime. Yes.
Oh.
Very rare.
Amazing.
But if they both have the same life path number, they both have the same lesson to learn, and the reason they have that lesson to learn, and there's usually a role reversal, where in another lifetime he was female and she was the male. And this lifetime, she will be the female, he will be the male. There's a role reversal so that they can work it out. And I think the most challenging, well, there's a couple, but the one that is most not difficult for me to really nail down, but is someone who has a life path number of a 5. When you add their month, day, and year of birth together, of a 5. Anyone who has a 5 life path number only learns through experience. They are very adventuresome. But they as souls, here's the esoteric numerology part, they as souls have jam-packed this lifetime, like jelly beans in a jar, of tons of changes, of career moves, of relationship moves, of physical moves. They're travelers. They go in and out, experience. And so your life path number, month, day, and year of birth, gives me pretty good insight as to career choices. That's why in children's charts, I try to give the parents some clues as to not only issues that their child as a soul is bringing in here, but some career potentials, which, for instance, if someone is a 4 and an 8 life path number, that's business, that's planning, that's organization, that's executive. 6 is about teaching and nurturing and caring. And the 5 has built in a lot of experiences because this lifetime is a lifetime of accelerated spiritual growth. And they will spiritually grow through their experiences. And it can be wild and crazy. And I cannot nail down what their career choices are, although it's usually in communication, travel, long-distance travel, things along those. They're just like little jumping beans. They're constantly on the move here. But to be real specific, because they're going to always be changing their relationships. 5 is tough to corral. Yeah. But accelerated spiritual growth, number 5.
Wow. Interesting and fascinating.
Isn't it fascinating? And Spirit has told me over the years interpretations that I have never found in any book. And they kind of are true. I have wonderful, wonderful guides that when I do my work, I always begin my readings in God's white light, setting the intention. Everyone gets a recording of their reading, and they get a CD. I sent them a CD, too. I know. And then they get paperwork, and I'm a very busy person.
Oh, yeah. That is very time consuming.
Well, but I believe knowledge is power, and I want them to have as much information according to whatever readings that they're ordering. It's right in there. It says numerology readings. You just scroll down. You can pick whatever you want. Because people need, especially when they're in transition of some sort. Now, not everybody's wacko all the time that calls me. They call because that's their soul's bringing them here. So we're not going to think everyone's in crisis. That's not the way it is. But I do believe that if they have printed information, either through their inbox I send it, or they get actual printed booklets, and they have their reading, and they, from what my clients tell me, and you saw that on the testimonial page, they listen to these CDs over and over and over and over and over again because it's too much to comprehend at one crack. Plus the fact that as the soul progresses through issues, it's called soul readiness. The soul they'll hear even though it's been on that CD or that download from the get-go, all of a sudden they'll hear it. It'll register. Oh, I get it. That's what she's talking about. But the soul wasn't ready to hear that information before that moment of time. Soul readiness.
Right. Like nothing happens before its time.
Exactly. Exactly. And the soul has a game plan. It has that yellow brick road from birth to the end game. Yes.
Right. Well, Elizabeth, there are a few people who would like to speak with you, and there's one question on the Q&A. Would you like to go there now?
Absolutely. Right. Let's see what they want to know.
Okay. Francine asks, what is my birth number? It's February 18th, 1956. She said, sorry, it is her birth number is February. Her birth date is February 18th, 1956. And which lane of life is she and her husband going through right now? And he was born on October 13th, 1951.
Yeah, both of them are in their third lane of life. I think we chatted about this already.
Yes.
Both of them are in their third lane of life.
Right.
Whoever was born in 1951 entered into his at 54 years of age, 55, and she entered into hers at 58, 59. And the husband, both of those that are born on the 18th and the 13th, and you know what's interesting? That is exactly the birth numbers of my husband and I. I was born on the 18th, and he was born on the 13th. Isn't that interesting? Francine, hello. 18 and 13. So the thing of it is here, I know she had a concern, and your husband is, I'm going to calculate out real quick. We go in 9-year cycles. Remember I told you that? And
yes.
I'm going to see here that your husband is in a 5-year of change. Change. That might precipitate even a change of house and home in 2018. So your husband is in a 5-year of change, and this will go from last October to this September, and then he is going to move into a 6-year. So I think he had a job change of some sort. So I'm going to say that since your husband's birthday is in October, 3 months before the actual month of the birthday, these personal years do not go from January to December. This work is 2,600 years old. The calendar that we use was like in the 800s someplace. You know, some monk got a job from a pope so the pope could keep all his property organized and whatever. It's the whole thing. So I'm going to say that he is finishing a 5-year going into a 6-year of change, and Francine is in all this year a 3-year of attitude adjustment of what's important. Hey, what's important in our life? Values. There you have it. So Francine's in a 3-year, and her husband's going into a 6-year. And I think there's going to be a change of residence in 2018. There's a change here. And it's not a bad thing. It's just time to move along and not be afraid. But you're both going to. No, I think so. I'm going to just leave it at that.
Oh, all right. So all our other questions are live callers. So I will start with Susa. Yes.
Yes. Hello. This
is
Susan.
Yes,
Susan. Okay. Hi, Susan. What's your question, honey?
Hello. Do you want my birth date, or I want to know about my career and I'm starting a business.
So tell me your month, day, and year of birth. Month.
March 31st, 1954.
And how old are you?
63.
Okay. Excellent. You are in approach. Well, you're 63. You're in your third lane of life. Excellent. Everybody at 64 starts to go in a new direction. Remember, I said that's one of those ages, if you've been listening that long.
Yes.
And
yes.
Business definitely is where you should be. Absolutely. You have an 8 life path number. And know that you're in your third lane of life that kicked in around the age of 56, 57 years of age. Then everybody, listeners, between 58 and 60 goes through their second Saturn return, big changes, career changes, move, whatever. It's the pruning of your life. It's like pruning a tree. But what I want to tell you, which is good stuff, is that your third lane of life is ruled by the influence of your birth year. The middle lane is ruled by your birth day. You definitely have a temperament for planning and business and what have you. And your third lane of life is about new beginnings, new starts, new opportunities. And it's a 19-1, which is the wonderful sun card. Prosperity, opportunity. I'm saying to you, go girl, go.
Yay! Thank
Yep.
you. I must get a reading from you. You're fabulous. I can't wait to learn more.
Oh, bless your heart. Oh, yeah, I like what I see here for you. Yeah, just go to my website, honey, and we'll work it out. Okay?
Okay.
But
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking my call.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome, Susan. Elizabeth, what's your website again? ElizabethSummers.com.
Elizabeth Summers, like the season. Like the season. .com.
Elizabeth, Queen Elizabeth, like the season, summer season.
I know. I myself, Queen Elizabeth. And people laugh when I say that, and I say, you don't understand, you don't know me. And I do know that I was a queen in other lifetimes. And I love jewelry, so I think that kind of says it all.
And you love lavish parties.
Yes. Yes. Yes,
all right.
I do. Yes, I do. ElizabethSummers.com. Sign up for my newsletters. My videos are on YouTube. And I'm working all the time to take care of my people because I love my work and I love them too. And I think they love me too. You know what I mean, Christy?
Yes, of course I know. All right, we have another Susan who has left a message for you. A Q&A. She said, my first name is Susan, and I was born on February 9th, 1957. Can you tell me something about that combination, please?
Can you tell me, what's the question? Can you tell me about?
Yes, her combination, perhaps where she's at her life right now. With the name Susan, born February 9th, 1957.
Yeah. Well, she is here to accomplish 1957, yeah. She is here. So there is a code that's called an achievement number. And Susan, you are an old soul. You are someone who has volunteered to come in here. Your big achievement issue, which comes from adding your month and day of birth together, is an 11, which adds to a 2. That has to do, on one hand, with setting boundaries, dealing with karmic partners, male-female relationships, setting boundaries. The other thing is listening to your psychic ability. You are an old soul. You are here to be a master healer. That is your life path number. The number 9 is that of a shaman. It can be a little toughy. It's not, sometimes it's hard to hold on to relationships. Anyone who has a 33-6 life path number, that yellow brick road, and on top of that a number 9, they usually experience in relationships their own personal emotional crucifixions in order for them to turn around and give their healing, nurturing, wisdom, teaching to other people. It's kind of a toughy relationship situation, but you are in your 3rd lane of life, which is ruled by your birth year, and that's a 22-4. Girl, you've got really powerful numbers here, and it's that of a master organizer. Think big, plan big, organize big. 22-4. So your life lesson number is a 33-6, and the lane of life that you're in is a 22-4. So, I don't know, teaching, putting together programs to serve humanity. Think big, plan big, organize big, and keep your wits about you. No emotionalism. And that's that.
All right. Okay, Susan. So we move on to Randy. Randy, you may speak with Elizabeth.
Hello. Thank you.
Hi, Randy.
Hi. I experience a lot of numbers that seem to have like an angelic meaning, or I get a claircognizance. I see you, clarity, and yet, you know, there's just so many options with the mind to try to tie it to as a sign. It gets a little overwhelming. I ask for, I invoke for more discernment in that. My birthday is 5/24/64. I'm asking about like a specific number, like 63. Can you read without being completely left brain? Sort of more.
The number 63. When you have a compound number, that's a compound number. Usually the first number takes the lead and is most powerful. And both of these are artistic vibrations. Both the 6 and the 3 are that of an artist, a creative person, an artistic person. And those folks who are artists are usually always very highly psychic or intuitive and connected to the astral plane and the angelic plane, because that's where all creativity is. That's an interesting read, because, you know, that number comes up for me a lot. And to try to pin it down to something, it's like, it just doesn't, I don't want to cord things by trying to necessarily relate it to a specific thing. I just kind of get a gleam from it. Yeah. And the thing of it is, when we see a repetition of numbers, now I'm always seeing double numbers, 11, 22, 33, and always on my kitchen digital clock. Always. I walk into the kitchen, there it is. That is one of the ways that your guardians and your guides are staying in touch with you. They are using that same number to kind of tap you on the shoulder and say, we're here, you're not alone, we're helping you, talk to us if you need us. And that's, to all the listeners, when we see the same numbers over and over on license plates and here or there and everywhere, don't be afraid of that. That's what they're using, because they're getting your attention, and the fact that you're noticing it is a good thing. So that's what I see for you. Yeah.
It happens all the time. Like,
yeah, it's a good thing.
I could just be myself, not looking for anything, just going about doing what I'm doing, and inside a half an hour, hour's time, I get one of these, you know, synchronicities, or I'm like I'll open my phone and sure enough it's 11:11 or 11:33.
Tap on your shoulder. Tap on your shoulder.
It's constant.
Yep, it is. It is, and there's nothing to be worried about.
You know, I'm not. I choose love a lot more than I choose fear. So as far as, you know, that's one of the reasons I don't do numerology and astrology, because, you know, anybody you talk to, it's always, you know, be afraid of this and you know. No. We're not afraid of anything. Fear is an ego trip, and fear is frequently a control issue. And there are certain combinations of numbers that do show up in a chart that I can see the person is a fearful person. But it doesn't work that way with me. You won't get that out of me. So don't even worry about it. So there you have it. You're in good shape. You've got a bunch of buddies. Sounds great, and thank you for your consideration.
You're welcome, Randy. Thanks for calling in. Bye-bye, dear.
Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you, Randy. And we move back to the Q&A. We have, oh dear. Susan said, thank you. And we have a question from Diana. She says she's loving this call. I was born on July 26th, 1973 at 4 p.m. Sorry. Can you please provide guidance in terms of my career and my current and new career? Her current name is Diana Mercer, birth name. Thanks so much.
Well, you're welcome. There's a lot of questions in there that cannot be handled on the little quickies here on the radio. But I did look at your life path number, which frequently indicates career, and yours is an 8 that has to do with management, organization, sometimes construction, architecture even. It's very, very structural. And you have a temperament. You have a birthday number which will support that. Your birthday number adds to an 8, and your life path number is an 8, so that's a very good support system. And you right now are just had a birthday. Well, happy birthday for you. My niece is the 26th, is July 26th, and she's a very successful businesswoman. 26 is one of the best financial numbers when it comes to management, organization. That is your temperament. And so the year that you are in your current 9-year cycle, says a 7-year, and this is your vacation year. This is a spiritual year. I want you to slow down your life. If you don't, illness can be used to shut you down. I want you to watch your relationships, especially your business relationships, and watch for ethics. And listen to your intuition to guide you. This is going to be a year that started just a couple days ago. A 7-year is a vacation year, it's a study year, and it is your spiritual year of awakening to listening to your inner voice to guide you. Yes.
Okay.
And watch the relationships. Listen, just speak. There's an undercurrent of one of the 4 nasty karma codes here. Your year is a 16-7 year, and it's about choices. So if it doesn't feel right, don't do it, and stay out of your head.
All right. Okay, so thank you, Diana, and we move on to Debbie. Debbie, you may speak to us. Yeah.
Hi, Christine. Hi there,
darling.
Elizabeth. You two are amazing. Elizabeth, you have Christine down to a science from what I know about her. She just loves people, and she's so good at what she does. And she has the most dynamic interview questions I think I've ever heard sometimes. So, yes,
well,
Christine.
That's
you. You're amazing. And Elizabeth, I'm learning so much already from what you've shared about everyone, and I'm kind of picking up, okay, yeah, I think that's my number, and so on and so forth. So here we go. I am a Pisces, February 26th, 1955. I am 62 now, so there's a number 8 for you, and 8 in my birth date. And So I, too, like Randy, see all those 1111, 111, 11, and I also see my birth time, which is 10:22 in the morning. I was a good kid. And then I was almost 11 pounds when I was born, so there you go. And it's just amazing how those numbers always continue to come up. And I feel like I'm just getting into a new phase of everything in my life. And so I'd like for you to tell me what is going on.
After all that, what is going on? Well, I'm calculating out as to what year you are currently moving through in your 9-year cycle. And interestingly enough, you're in year 11 too. And so this is a year of balancing partners. It's a very high strung. You can feel very high strung. This is ruled by the moon this year. So around the new moon, full moon, and 2 eclipses, which is 3 times the power of any given moon. So hold on. Know that it's about balancing partnerships. And know that at 62, you are in your 3rd lane of life of awakening to new plans, new ideas. It's the Judgment card in Tarot that's going to start slowly turning you in a new direction. New direction.
I absolutely see all of that. I don't really have, I'm not, I think I'm on the verge because I don't have insight yet as to what's going to happen. But I understand that my starseed family is going to direct me and show me and lead me and guide me.
Yeah. Well, I suggest that when you're 62, 63, 64, when you're 64 years of age, not only is your age going to take you in a new start, but you'll also be in a 4-year and a 13-4, which is major transition. And out with the old, growth into the new, change of residence, new life, new whatever. So I think that this is your intuitive year. Next year will be much more expansion and resetting your values, but it's going to ripple out into your environment in a very practical way when you're 64 years of age.
I love it. I just can't wait.
Good girl. Good girl. Yeah.
Absolutely.
You have a sweet sound here. So just, this is a gentle, your 3rd lane of life is a gentle lane of life.
I see. That's what you do.
Versus
and
the middle part. Yeah, the middle
the
part.
moon has always been, I have been so dynamically influenced by the moon. So yes, you're so right.
And try to live where there's water. Get a fountain in the house or a shower.
I put a fountain in the backyard, and that was, I put it in myself. So that's how much I love water.
That's admirable. Bless your heart. That's admirable.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I have a hydroponics garden, so that's water pumped. So yes, ma'am, that you are so.
You need to be around water in this lane of your life for sure, and especially this year. And Pisces are very psychic anyway. Pisces rules the 12th house, and they draw into their lives, and it certainly can be this year, karmic partners. They have a lot of things to settle. There can be limitations in relationships. And Pisces are not the most grounded people in the whole world. But I would suggest at your age, do you know what your rising sign is, your ascendant?
No.
All right. Well, that rising sign ascendant is very much, that's why I bring astrology into my work to help people know that. And if you've been listening, I said the older you get, in my opinion and experience, the we become more energetically our rising sign. So Pisces to me are like little feathers in the wind. La, 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 sort of energy. But whatever, at your age, you're more that rising sign, I bet you. So anyway, if you choose to have a reading with me, I'm going to tell you, since you even know your time and everything.
You are absolutely on target. Absolutely. I thank you ever so much. You're
welcome, honey. Thanks for the call. Bye-bye.
Yes, bye-bye.
Okay, goodbye, Debbie, and we move back to the Q&A. Oh, Betsy says, her birthday is the 20th of October, 1954. She wants to know, what do you see for her and her husband is March 29th, 1952.
Well, I'm only going to do one at a time here.
Okay.
And Christine, how long does your show go?
As long as you would like to go.
Oh, I see. Because I'm getting tired, honey. I have to tell you that. So let's take maybe another 10, 15 minutes, and then because I've been doing readings all day.
All right.
So I'm getting a little bushwhacked over here.
All right.
So this is fine. So 19.
Okay.
Is that okay with you? Does that work for you?
Yes. I don't want to overwork you. Of course not.
I might tell people they're moving to China. You know what I mean? If I get too too worn out, sort of thing. So let's just see here. Well, her life path number, I don't know the woman's name, 10/20, 1954.
Betsy.
So what's her name?
Betsy. B-E-T-S-Y.
B-E-T-S-Y. My brother-in-law's birthday is 10/20. Okay. So we have here, but her life lesson is a 4 of planning, of security, of work, all along those lines. She's in, how old is she? 54. Okay. So 206 minus
63. In 2017, 63.
Minus, what are you saying, 53?
She's 63. If she was born in 1954, we're in 2017.
53, and I'm thinking, I don't think so. Okay. So anyone who's 63 is going to bring some conclusions in their life. Conclusion of money deals, property deals, some sort of, there's a finishing up that occurs for anyone who's 63 years of age. And in preparation for that 64 of that new direction, new start, things along those lines. And so know that this is where you are. And you're in your third lane of life, which is lovely. It's the Sun card again, like I shared with the other gal, of new beginnings, new starts. And the year that you are in your current 9-year cycle is finishing a 3-year. And so now, which goes from last October to this September, and a 3-year is about expansion and travel, and it's kind of like a little hummingbird. But now you are approaching a 4-year that says plan, plan, plan. Planning. So very much, you will physically notice the difference. You won't feel as, oh no, I'm talking to Betsy. You won't feel as perhaps fluid and into this and into that and into something else. You'll be more grounded. And in Betsy, in your 4-year, that is coming in the fall here. Actually, it's on its way now, August, September. Your birthday is October. I want you to watch your finances, and I want you to watch your teeth and your bones. Take good care of those situations particularly. A 4-year is excellent for house, for construction, for planning, for work, along those lines. And so that is your 4-year, but your third lane of life is just really nice. New beginnings, new starts. in some capacity, for sure. So, there you have it, Betsy.
Okay. So
Well,
we move.
Christine, I think I need to kind of give you a verbal hug and send hugs to everyone who's listening. But I think I need to stop.
Okay, all right. So.
And just say gratitude to you, to remind people that I would love to hear from them. Go to my I offered a gift. So you have on the bonus page there, they can get a free radio show. It's only for the month of August. For one of my own radio shows, just go to my website. It says radio shows. Pick what you want. Tell me that you're from Christine's show, and I will send it right off to you through your inbox. That is my bonus gift to all the listeners. And to you, Sweet Pea, I'm so grateful for having me on your show.
Okay, so would you like to close with any particular thoughts or ideas with our listeners before we end?
Well, I look at life with one motto, that we are to stay focused and we are to trust our journey. And the work that I do helps people know what that journey is. And once they know what that journey is, it becomes easier to trust. All is divine. All is divine. And sometimes you just have to keep telling yourself that. And every storm has behind the clouds a rainbow.
Okay.
So thank you, darling. Thank you, darling.
You're welcome. And those of you who would have had questions for Elizabeth, well, next time. Okay? Because of the way it is, she's tired and we can't go on anymore.
That's right. Mentally a little fried now, you know. And I'm so grateful for everyone who was interested enough to call in. Go to my website, check it out, and if I can help you in any way, I do psychic intuitive readings, and I'm very blessed to be a medium where I work, bring together loved ones who've crossed over to my clients. And 99.9% of all my work, Christine, is on the phone. All phone readings. And I record everything and love my work and I love my people. And right now I think I'm loving on you a little bit for having me on your show.
Okay. All right. So we will end the call now. I want to remind everyone we have another interesting call tomorrow, very interesting. Name reality. It's all about the power of the names and similar to this. All right. So goodbye, everyone. And thank you, Elizabeth, for coming and sharing and giving us this. So thank you and goodbye, everyone.